I'm Gloop.
And I'm Kay,
And this is the Sweet Aisle.
where even the simple task of choosing sweets takes an hour and multiple tangents.
All while our poor friend is telling us,
Just pick something!
so let's see where our brains take us this time.
My brain has just played the least appropriate song for any situation.
Oh no.
It's from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I think...
Touch me.
I wanna feel dirty. Thrill me, chill me, fulfill me, creature of the night.
Yes.
Yeah, slightly obsessed with Rocky. Like, I just love it.
It's a great show.
I remember watching it when I was 15 and I first had money for myself. I saw Rocky Horror Picture Show in the DVD section, and I was just like, because I knew Crystal Maze and Richard O'Brien, and I loved that, I just picked it up and thought, Richard O'Brien, Crystal Maze, Rocky Horror, I like this. Not having a blues clues about it. I turned it on, and the first song, Damn It Janet, and I was
it's so good.
and I was like, okay.
This is not the Crystal Maze.
No, I didn't think it would be the Crystal Maze, but I was thinking it'd be very
They're,
family friendly, should I say.
it's not that either.
No, so I saw Damn It Janet and they got caught in the rain and then suddenly they're in their underwear in the lab. I'm like, oh. And then Tim Curry coming down the lift in that outfit. I was like, okay, I love this. And that was my introduction to, well, back at the time, I didn't know it was called kinks or fetish or anything like that.
But that was your introduction.
And I was just
funnily enough, I think that was my first experience with it as well, but I was a little bit younger than you. I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah, because my parents were very much like, they weren't strict on age things, but they would, if we wanted something like a 15 and we were 14, we might get the odd exception. But generally it was like, wait till you're 15 and get your own money and your pocket money, don't buy it yourself. It was very much like...
If we wanted to buy it, it was a bit more. But if we wanted to watch something in the house, it was very much a case of, you know, try your luck and ask.
Yeah, also it was a case of we didn't really have... Well, it wasn't bought for us because if it was found out by my grandparents that my parents had bought that for me, there would be trouble. Because they were proper like Christian in the sense of like, they had this rule of they didn't even allow alcohol in the house because Jesus didn't drink alcohol. And my argument was, water into wine? What, they drank wine?
Yeah, in fact, the Last Supper?
Yeah, it confused me. So we were kind of like not steered away from that discussion or that side of society and life. It was more like, we'll let you find out like on your own. Like we won't. It's like my parents didn't mind if we knew.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, they didn't want to be shown as
educating you on the subject.
So it was like, so I think that was another reason why when it was Rocky Horror, seeing it on the shelf, I was like, I want to watch that. It's like, no, wait.
Whereas my dad's grandparents are practically hippies, and my mum's grandparents were working class Liverpudlians.
Yeah.
My upbringing was interesting.
Whereas we were proper like West End London.
Yeah.
And then came here when I was 7 or 8.
I moved around a lot because my dad was RAF. But
oh yes. Yeah.
Moved here when I was about 13.
Oh wow. Crikey, I just realised I've been here since I was 7. Wow.
You've been here since I was 2.
Wow. Yeah, now I feel old. Yeah, contemplating how long I've actually been here is crazy.
Because you were 90, weren't you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I'm 95.
Yeah, I forget that so often.
What? I'm 95?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like how we're saying it like this. It's like, you're not 95 and I'm not 90. How are you suddenly older than me? It's crazy to think that... brain just froze on me.
It's crazy to think that you're 5 years older than me? Is that what you were going?
Well, not necessarily. It's just how our friend group over the years has changed.
Oh, yeah. Massively.
From like a big mass of roughly the same age, and then people just
Well,
slowly...
I wasn't in it at that
No, you
point.
were not. No, that's what I mean. People fizzled out, people joined, and
And
it's
eventually it's the
like
four
a
of us.
fine wine that matured into this.
Yeah. It's more like making a brandy, you know?
I don't know how you make brandy. I know you just stick it in a barrel
You
or
distill
something.
wine.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Yeah, brandy is distilled wine.
Never had it, so I didn't.
Not well, I have. It's disgusting. Don't drink it. But yeah, that's how it's made. You take wine and you distill it, and you are left with brandy. And that's basically what happened to the friend group. Like,
Yeah.
we are the brandy of the friend group. Wait, no, that's not good.
That sounds bad. That sounds terrible.
Well, especially because I just said that brandy is disgusting.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was like. Yeah.
We are the vodka of the friend group.
That's potatoes, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's distilled fermented potato.
I prefer mead, where your honey.
Yes,
your,
but there's no
like,
distillation there.
No, but you put in an oak barrel, you're left there for a year or two, and then something awesome comes out of it.
I guess we're a very old mead at this point,
Yeah.
considering, what, 10 years? Because I was
Oh,
about
God.
18 when we met, and
It's funny that I was discussing this with Wheels the other day when we all kind of met, and it was just like I was just sat in kind of like paused silence of like shock
what?
because the just sudden realization of how long we've been entwined with our lives.
Yeah,
I'm kind of everyone's oldest friend now.
not quite. I think you're my third.
No, I mean within this.
Oh yeah,
within
this,
how the group,
this group, yeah.
within how this group has matured into what we are now as Dapper.
Yeah, you are
Yeah,
longest standing.
I am longest for everybody, and that sounds so bizarre to me. Because there's a period where we would do Warhammer,
Yeah,
and then after a while that had to stop for some reasons.
I got a job for a bit.
Yeah, and I think also their nan fell ill.
Yes.
So we kind of drifted because we didn't really take each other's numbers. I never really... Well, I had a phone, but I barely used it.
I still am like that. Like,
Yeah, it's just...
I use my phone to browse memes.
Yeah.
Like, that is the almost sole use of my phone.
It's the occasional message to each other going, hey, are we doing this today? It's like, yeah, okay.
Or, no.
Yeah, or no. So we kind of drifted for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But because I was at college with the others, I kept in contact with the others. And then I think I was working at the college and you started doing a course.
Yes.
And I bumped into you again.
Yeah, randomly.
Yeah, and then we were like, we should stay in touch properly this time kind of thing.
And then we didn't.
And then we didn't. And then somehow...
And then
yeah.
I got into D&D and invited She That Shall Not Be Named to my group.
Yes.
And then, like, a couple of months later, she invited me to your group.
Yes.
And thus I got to know everyone else.
Yeah. It's such a bizarre case. Like, it's almost like a movie where you meet, you don't keep in touch, you meet again.
Yeah.
It's like the random bumping into each other's.
Weirdly, that sounds like the plot of a rom-com.
Oh no.
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 Don't get me wrong, I love you to bits, but not like
No,
that.
that's literally what it was like. We are not like that.
It is familial love.
Yes. Yes. I thought you said familiar love, then I realised you said familial.
Yes, with the IAL
Yes.
at the end.
It's amazing what endures
Yes.
through, what's the right word? I want to say
Stress?
catastrophe.
I don't think catastrophe is
but that's-
quite the right word.
No, it seems too extreme, but that's the only one I can think of. Trying times.
Yeah. I think it's more safe to say it's amazing what good friendships can go through.
That's it. Yeah, it's like neighbours. Everybody has good No, except everyone in Ramsey Street fights.
Well, we're not actually neighbours. Like,
Well, yeah. If
one
you
day
go-
maybe.
Maybe. It's like if you go to America, they have huge neighborhoods, so everyone within that neighborhood is a neighbor. Yeah, for us, that's like that could be like a 3 square mile thing, and it's like your neighbors with what? It makes no
Yeah.
sense. But
Or
in
it
the
could
UK
be-
sense,
Like, I have a neighbour
Mm.
who is...
yeah, literally next door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas in the UK sense, 3 miles, that's a whole another
Yeah, you're in a different
ward,
district, like-
yeah, ward or district, depending how you look at it.
I tend to call them districts. just
Yeah.
'cause-
Well, the district is the council, the ward is the area.
Oh, okay. In which case they are
yeah,
wards.
yeah. Why do we
To be
have...
fair, if you walk 3 miles in the UK, you've probably gone all the way through a ward. Like,
Pretty much.
they don't tend to be that bloody big.
No. It's because if you take mine, it's literally where I am. Half a mile in one direction is the boundary line, and half the mile in the other direction, like left to right.
Yeah.
It's literally...
don't think mine's even that big.
No, I happen to know it because one of my exes was, well, still is, the councillor of my ward.
I think
Their father.
that way it is literally the bottom of the road that you can see from my window.
Literally the traffic lights at the end
Yeah.
of your road, yeah. And then it's just beyond the main road
Yeah.
down that end where you meet the River Severn.
That way it is...
The other side of the park, I think.
Uh,
or just before the park.
No, I think it is literally like in the park, which
Yeah.
is a bit weird, but you know.
Yeah, for me it's literally the motorway bridge and the
And
traffic
then
lights.
that side is, you know, where you've got the bridge that goes over the main road.
Yeah.
It's just this side of the bridge,
Yeah.
so
It's
like
tiny. You can walk it in like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If that.
literally.
It's bonkers to think that. Yeah, because I only learned the boundary lines because one of my ex's dad, they still are the councillor of my area.
Ah.
So it's bizarre to think that... I'll say that in a minute. But yeah, there's a motorway bridge, there's a traffic light, set of traffic lights. And then their wife is the next one over. So they're from the traffic lights to the roundabout at the end of the road. That's their area. And it's crazy. But if I say it like this, I have been out with the mayor's daughter, the mayor's daughter, because both parents have been mayor,
Yeah.
the sheriff's daughter. There's they got a few other titles which I can't remember off the top of my head.
You like dating people from...
But that's all one person. Their daughter is the same person, but it's just their parents
have both been mayor and...
been mayor, they've been sheriff, they've been councillors, they've been... Oh, what else have they been? I don't know, but within local politics, they have been kind of almost every role.
This reminds me
So
of
it's
someone
bizarre. It makes me...
another friend of mine worked with at one point. I won't say name for posterity's sake, thank you. I think they had held like 4 different positions in local office, and they were the most insufferable cow. We used to get like daily updates on what they had done to pee everyone else off in the office.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they did not work there very long.
I'm glad to hear that. I mean, if we were up to shenanigans and the funny stuff, yeah.
Yeah, no.
But
no.
I can...
It was
yeah,
just like genuinely upsetting people. Trying to tell people how to do their job despite the fact they didn't have a clue what their job was.
Yeah, those people need to just go away.
Yeah. Or like volunteering people for things. That's
Oh,
another one she
lovely.
was kind of infamous for.
Whereas I was infamous for being a bit of a mischief maker in my office.
I think mischief is fine.
Yeah.
It keeps people's spirits up.
I know, because I peed a couple people off by mischief, not by do it this way.
Yeah. Mischief will occasionally pee people off because no one really enjoys being messed with.
No. But at the same time, I love it when you get the affirmation from the member of staff. It's like, yeah, do that, but not when I'm on stage, please, because I get migraines.
Yeah.
So
Yes, you've told me that story.
Yeah, I think I shared it last time.
That really reminds me of a thing from SAO Abridged. You know when Kirito's gone into the second game to find Asuna, and Yui turns up in the second game?
Is that the one with the birdcage?
Yes.
Yes.
And Yui's explaining that her dying was a joke.
I think I remember.
And Kirito turns around and goes, "Bad things aren't funny when they happen to Daddy." To which Yui goes, "What about Mummy?" And he replies, "Mummy's fine, go for the throat." It's just like that very much.
Yeah.
I don't care if bad things happen to other people, as long as they're not happening to me.
Yeah.
Which I think everyone has a little bit of in
Yeah,
them.
there's a line where it's like, I don't want it too much. Like, so people who do bad things and like maim and that.
Yeah, no, that...
I don't want to say, but I get what you're saying.
It's like they've been a horrible person and they do something stupid that causes it to happen to them.
Yeah.
Then it's funny.
Yes. Like Darwin Awards.
Yeah, like, or like, I was more thinking like karmic Schadenfreude. Like, where if it had happened to someone else, it wouldn't be funny. But because that person is a shit stain,
Yes.
you know, like, if someone threw a brick at Rishi Sunak, I would laugh.
I mean, yeah. I would probably...
If someone threw a brick at a random person on the street, that would not be funny. But if it happened to Rishi Sunak, I would laugh. Because he is a shit stain of humanity.
Yes.
I mean,
It's like
maybe
when
throwing
John-
a brick at someone is a bit of an extreme example, but...
It may remind me of John Prescott being egged. He
Yeah.
had an egg thrown at him, then I think there was a bag of flour. I'm not sure. But that was pretty funny to watch.
Yeah. But if that happened to, like, my next door neighbour, that would be less funny.
You'll be out for you'll be gunning that person down.
Yeah, well, actually, that's very true. I get on well with my next door neighbour.
Yeah.
But, like, random person,
Yes.
like, it would not be funny.
No. Yeah, there's got to be context to the reason, otherwise
Yeah.
it's like...
But, like, minor mishaps, like someone standing on a rake and it smacking them in the nose.
Sideshow Bob.
Yeah, I'm always going to laugh at that,
Oh, yeah.
regardless of who you are.
Yeah, there's a few things about The Simpsons I remember, and there's a few things about The Simpsons I enjoy. And one of them is Sideshow Bob going,
Yeah.
every time he stands on a rake. Because something, when I was so young, something about that noise or that sound effect just was like, resonated with me, and I loved it. And I ever since, like, just like...
I will
love
always
that
remember
noise.
an episode of that where he, like, starts going, stands on a rake, does the noise, turns around, stands on another
That's
rake.
literally what I'm referring to. That is literally what I'm referring to. I just love it. It's like, I kind of wish he didn't turn evil like he did in the show.
Yeah.
So as the show progressed, he got more maniacal.
Yeah, more like
Whereas
cartoon supervillain.
Yeah, I liked it more when he was introduced and he was just jealous of Krusty.
Yes, and
And
he wasn't necessarily evil, just a bit of a twat.
Yeah, and it kind of like, I want to bring him down kind of thing. It's like, yes, but it's almost like Mr. Burns. How Mr. Burns is evil, but he's just subtle.
Yeah, and now he just wants to kill Bart.
Yeah, which just, yeah, I lost interest before then, I think.
Yeah, same, but I haven't been interested in The Simpsons in a long time.
Oh, I know. I can't remember when I started. I used to watch it at 6 o'clock on a weeknight when the news was on. I'd go upstairs while my parents watched the news because, well, when you're 10, the news is boring.
Speak for yourself.
There were a few things I paid attention to, but you kind of go, oh, they're the headlines. Okay, toddle off.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I used to watch it, and then I remember coming down because tea would then be after the news. So that was about 6:30ish.
Yeah.
So that's when like local news was on, and we would sit down and listen to the local news because that
Makes
was
sense.
kind of more important. So I've always been watching local news.
Yeah.
National news.
Yeah, when you're 10, the national news is just kind of scary.
Yeah, I'd hate to be a 10-year-old right now hearing about all the stuff going on in like Russia and that, and in
gosh,
Israel,
yeah.
and it's like, I kind of feel for those 10-year-olds.
I don't know. I kind of feel for them, but I'm also kind of jealous of them because they've never had it better than this. Like, you know what I mean?
Not sure.
Like, so by the time they were born, the world was already fucked beyond belief.
But when I was growing up, the big story constantly was the Iraq War.
Yeah, same here. But that was like far enough away.
That's true.
It didn't really. I mean, it felt a bit more real to me because obviously my dad was in the forces.
Yeah.
But, like, to a lot of people my age, it was like, oh, that's something that's happening somewhere else in the world. It doesn't affect us.
Yeah.
But this is like, I mean, it's not geographically much closer to home, but politically.
Oh yeah, it's scary.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, I know, because it's like when the World Trade Centers got attacked.
Oh yeah.
I remember where I was when that happened, and I remember one of my first thoughts after seeing it coming home from school, which was, I was there last year, and it kind of made me kind of go, well, back then I didn't swear, but I was literally like, fuck, I was there last year. It was like, and it kind of scared me,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh no. And then I realised, oh, that's in a different state, so I probably wouldn't have, because I went down to
Yeah.
Florida, that was New York. But when you're 10, you're like,
Oh, I was in America
Yeah.
last year. That could have been me.
Yeah, and it kind of put things into perspective for me when I was like
Yeah.
that, and I was like, oh, thank God.
That was the first year that my mum didn't buy the newspaper for me as one of my birthday presents.
Yeah.
Because my birthday was the day after.
Yeah.
Yeah, we normally like to look at the historical events that happened near your birthday, but
Yeah,
no.
not this year. Not
This year, I think we'll give that a miss.
Yeah.
Which, makes sense.
Crikey, our topics went dark.
Yeah, how?
I don't know.
Listening back to this one is going to be interesting.
I know, it's like, at least it's not YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, no, if it was YouTube, we'd be buggered.
Oh, yeah, because even mentioning the word what?
Pick a word.
Gun?
Yeah,
I mean, you can get away with saying that some now, but not really.
it's an iffy one.
It's one of the ones where you can mention, I think, once.
Well,
I don't know.
It's a bit of a funny one because there are channels dedicated to that subject, and obviously
Yeah.
they talk about them in length and get away with it.
Yeah, but
But-
if you're talking about Nerf, and you say you got a Nerf gun because it's then for kids,
Yeah,
or it's aimed for kids.
exactly. It's very much
Yeah, it's
the
like
content you make. If you make family-centric videos, which, let's face it, we're not going to.
Really? I thought that was alright.
The sarcasm is strong in this one.
When is it never?
Do you mean when is it not?
English could be well, yes.
And the answer to the question is never.
Yes.
I lost my train of thought. Your bad grammar broke me.
It's about dedicated gun channels.
Oh yeah, or like if you're a dedicated gun channel, or even just someone that makes content for more mature audiences,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
Yeah, it's like the slow-mo guys, for example. They
Yes.
often fire a gun into something.
Mm-hmm.
They often fire well, their most recent video is a bowling ball out of a bowling ball cannon, a specific cannon for a bowling ball.
Cool.
It's pretty epic.
I'm guessing that's pneumatic.
No, it's gunpowder.
Oh, really?
And it's built into the back of a good old Americana kind of Jeep from the
Oh,
war
did
times.
they kind of make it themselves?
Yeah. So they
Ah.
put in literally. I mean, when I saw them do this, I was like, oh my word! It's a person who does it DIY, and if this was me, I personally would be having alarm bells going off. He literally had a plastic thing of black powder, shoved it down the barrel tube, and I was like,
Meh.
if this was Mythbusters, that would not fly.
No.
I was like,
Even if that was just us, that wouldn't fly.
yeah, I would be like, it needs to be in a concealed thing with a dedicated fuse, preferably electronic. Well, not electronic, but yeah. And it was all done wirelessly with a phone. And I was like,
That doesn't bother me, to be honest, because
because what if you're holding the phone and you kind of say you twitch or
you keep that phone locked until everyone is well clear.
I know, it just kind of. So yeah, I know. And my brain was just like,
Like-
what if it's in your pocket? What if you leave it to what? I
You
know
keep
I
it
know.
locked and on a table
there were
behind a safety screen.
Oh, there were probably security things we weren't privy to on the video.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't help thinking, oh no.
Yeah.
What if you were like, 3, 2, sneeze?
Yeah.
I would rather a button. A
Yes.
physical tactile thing, not a bit of glass.
Yeah, not something on a touchscreen.
Yeah.
To be honest, I would actually want a switch that turns on a button
Almost
that you
like-
then
yeah.
press.
Yeah, very much like how the Mythbusters do it in the bunker.
Yeah.
They have the little red switch. You flick that up, or the little red cover, flick the switch down, then you press the button.
Yeah.
Or you turn a key, then press the button.
Yeah. I think a switch would be more than sufficient, but just something to make sure there is no power to the button, so if someone
Yeah.
trips...
Yeah. It's like when I did pyrotechnics, or where we had a key, that key had to be turned.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, very much like that. There was none of that, so my brain was going, oh no.
This is
However, it was really good.
That has made me think of something from a guy on TikTok called No Panic Button.
Mm.
So he had an apprentice nearly go to prison because he went to a fireworks display and hit the button when there was a fire truck over the display.
I know what you meant, but I suddenly saw a flying fire
Well,
truck.
it very nearly was a flying fire truck because it had fireworks go off underneath it.
Jesus.
Also,
Bye-bye fire truck.
apparently, when they're not spraying water everywhere, fire trucks are very flammable.
How so? Well, I guess the fuel tank.
The fuel, the rubber hoses,
Ah,
so they set fire to a fire truck. However, it got no further actioned because for that button to work, two different people have to put in
Yeah.
and turn keys, which means they did that, left them in the active position,
And walked
and
away.
left their posts,
yeah. Yeah.
which they're not supposed to do.
No, we had rules in ours when we had
Pyrotechnics.
pyrotechnics and smoke machines and things like that. We had to get our smoke caps turned off. Therefore, that meant no fire safety in that room, basically.
Yep.
So the rules were a staff member, preferably the person who signed the permit form, stays in that room until you turn them back on.
Which makes a lot of sense.
So if I did that and then left the room, even if it was to just have a quick break,
Yeah.
and I left no staff member in there,
I think the
I think
only way
I
you'd
would
get
be
away
in
with it is
trouble.
if it was like an actual emergency.
no, I mean, if they would come down on the health and safety team, because the theatre, when I worked at the college, was right by reception.
Yeah.
And quite often the health and safety manager sat there.
Ah.
So they were eyeballing, they were making sure.
Yes, but my point was like, if there was an emergency, you
Oh.
probably could leave without getting in trouble.
Oh, I see. I got you.
But minus
No.
that situation,
Because
no.
because the form, basically, the way it's written is basically, you are the fire alarm, not the smoke cap. So you
Yeah.
are responsible for basically opening the door and shouting fire if you're not near the
Thing to
thing to hit.
Yeah.
Because we did
the
have
manual
them.
alarm.
Yes, because we did have one next to our fire exit, but that's another 12 meters away. So
Yes.
if you're by the front door, the nearest one is actually in reception, which is 6 meters away.
That's silly, but fair enough.
Yeah, it's the way the building's laid out. It's horrible.
I remember that college is
I hated it so much because it's like the theatre where it was, nice spot, right by the entrance. People can just walk in, come in when there's a show going on. However, to get to the arts and media staff room,
yeah.
I have to leave. I have to go down like a 400 meter. I want to say 400 meter. It's not. It's like a 200-meter corridor
to the
to the atrium,
200 meters.
and then you walk back up, and then you walk basically back along yourself on the 200-meter corridor
Yeah.
to get to the staff room. It was a giant horseshoe of unnecessariness.
Oh, you think that's bad?
I wanted to build a bridge from the tech box to the staff room window because, okay, there's a slight slope,
But
like
it's
not quite in
slight.
line. It's like half a floor, so it's like 4 meters, if that.
Yeah.
So you kind of just, I wanted to build a bridge right across the top, but
Yeah.
no, that idea my managers didn't like.
The one I hated was, obviously I was doing mechanics. If I had to go from practical to one of the actual classes,
Oh god.
there was one where I would have to go from, obviously you know where the mechanics
A
practical
block,
stuff was.
yeah. A block's corridor is longer than B blocks.
There was points I had to go from A block
All the way to D, no
to the
doubt.
top floor of D block.
Oof. That's like a 5-minute walk minimum.
And I'm a quick walker and it took me like 7 minutes on a good day.
Jeez.
Like, some of the slower kids in class, it took them like 15, 20 minutes to walk it.
Yeah, that cottage is so poorly laid out.
Yeah, and they not only is it badly laid out, like, they didn't think, hey, these bits all need to go together.
Yeah, it's also they didn't think people in wheelchairs will attend because those corridors are so freaking narrow.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, not even wheelchairs, arts and media stuff. So if we have a trolley
Yeah.
with speakers on it, you have taken up more than 2/3. You're probably more like, not quite 4/5
Yeah.
of the corridor. Basically, if I stuck...
Moving anything on the pump trucks is a nightmare through those corridors as well. Because they're not straight.
No, they slightly
They all
bear.
curve.
They bear to a direct. Yeah, they
Like,
bear left. Because I reckon if you were to stand in the center and you literally put your arms up like to the side and stick your elbows out, so you're not fully extended. You're
So,
just
like-
extending to your elbows.
Oh, like this.
So like if you're doing the funky chicken,
Yeah.
you would pretty much be touching the walls on either side.
Like
But give or take a
I have
centimetre or
long
two.
arms and broad shoulders. I literally did.
Yes.
I tried it one time.
Because I could literally, if I do that, but I extend like, so it's like, what's that pose? It's like...
Almost like riding a Harley.
Yeah, so say if you're riding a motorbike, if you're doing that pose and then just put your fists out like a centimetre or two outside,
Yeah.
you're touching the walls.
Yeah, that I
These
could literally
corridors are
just do this,
horrible.
but I'm,
Yeah, but for people with slightly shorter arms.
yeah.
I'm in two minds. I want to go back and work there because I enjoyed it. But I just could not...
Did you though?
I could have done what I wanted to do, and if I was allowed to do what I wanted to do, which is to work with the further educated, so further or higher, the HNC, the HNDs, basically
The level 3+.
level 5+,
Oh,
4
okay.
and 5. Oh yeah, so it would be 3+, duh. But I predominantly worked with the level 5s out of the level 4 and 5s.
Okay.
If I could sit down and work with them,
Like the people that really want to actually
because
be
that's
there.
university level course.
Yeah.
Because basically all they have to do after that is do 1 year at uni as a top-up year and they've got their degree. Mm-hmm. That's all they've done. They've already done their dissertation. They've already done that. They've done that at the college.
They just need to do...
The top-up bit to basically be...
Basically to say, I have gone to university.
Yeah.
They've already covered the course.
Pretty much. That course is basically placement year and things
The
like that.
whole way education is done just confuses the shit out of me.
I really like the HNC, HND method.
Yes, but my point is, like, why does that not just get you the degree? Especially for things like drama, the course is pretty much the same as a university course. The only
Yes.
difference is you don't do it at a university.
Yeah, because mine was done at a college with the university and it was only foundation level.
Yeah.
But then again, I didn't really need a degree.
No.
Because what I did was more who you know rather than what you know. What you know is useful.
I mean,
You-
that's
yeah.
true in all performance
Yeah.
industry. It's who you know,
Yeah,
not what
it's
you
just
know.
it's a little bit of thing to say. Yeah, you've done this course. You're basically the interviewer basically goes, "Oh, you're not a noob.
Yeah.
You actually know what you're doing
But
to an extent."
yeah, but that's just as true of someone who's done a level 5 course.
That I know it's bonkers.
It's stupid.
I honestly, this is my honest opinion. I want to not scrap completely, but the whole university model.
Yes.
I want to do it in the HNC HND model, where the C is certificate, D is diploma,
Yes.
and then the higher national, just for people who didn't know.
Yeah.
Because with that, you kind of do a broad cover, a broad aspect, but you're also very flexible. So, for example, with the performing arts, there was a list of about 30 different units.
Yeah.
There's one mandatory per thing.
Like
You had to perform in one. However, it was then had optional things. So in the you have to perform,
Yeah.
it could be vocal, like as in radio work, as in kind of what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Or it could be like an art piece, like it could be live art,
Like
or it could be
interpretive dance
or it could be an actual performance.
Yes.
So you're very flexible in that. And then if you don't want to do the performance side, you want to go into the production side, the mandatory in that is you do a technical side of it.
I do find it really funny that of the people in our group, we are the two that is most interested in production.
Yes.
We are also the two that are currently doing recording, and
Yes, the talent,
performance.
as some people put it.
we are the voices at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah, the two people that want to do production.
Yeah, so, yeah. How did I not see that?
I don't know. It's only just occurred to me, to be honest.
Fair enough. That's to be fair.
Because, like, lighting, sound design.
Lighting operation, sound operation.
Yeah.
What else does my list cover? Oh gosh, loads.
I mean, I haven't done the courses.
No.
I've looked up stuff on YouTube. I have an understanding.
Yeah.
I have a huge interest in the subject.
Yeah, because for me, the music side of things or the sound side of things,
Yeah.
that was my least favourite part of it. I did not enjoy doing sound, like live sound.
No?
No, because to mix a band with singers in a musical theatre performance and where the sound desk is situated,
Yeah.
and where the band is situated,
Oh, of
is
course, you're in
not...
like the worst space to actually be able to hear
Yeah.
what you need to adjust.
Yeah, because the band is in another room
Yeah.
behind a breeze block wall.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a floor up, like in the theatre,
Yeah.
looking down behind the breeze block wall. So I've got 2 breeze block walls and a 12-meter air gap.
Yeah.
And in the middle of that is the performance going on. So to mix all 3, and the speakers are around the room surround sound style.
Yeah.
So feedback is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Getting the levels right, getting the mix
I
right,
guess
and then
this
you
is-
have a musical director who is very picky. Rightly so, may I
Yeah,
add,
no, they
because
need
the
to be.
speakers were absolutely shockingly crap.
Well, not just that. Like, okay, not so much in a college setting, but like, if people are paying for a concert
Yeah,
and the sound is off,
yeah.
you're going to get unhappy customers.
Yeah, because to be fair, I had no objection to the musical director being picky. I actually didn't mind it because it was kind of helping me out because they could do what I want to do. 'Cause if I'm on my own,
Yeah.
and I need to rebalance the levels for each speaker, because say I reset the system, well, I'll rephrase that. The college decides to do a power outage to do some maintenance work, which resets everything.
Because they're
And
nice
then-
like that.
And then because it's something I rarely touch, I then go, oh crud, what were they set to? I do not remember. And to get the balance right, I go up the stairs, I turn them all on. I kind of roughly remember where I put them all. Then I have to go back downstairs, listen to a song. Right, okay. Now that's that speaker, that's that speaker, that's that speaker. Go back upstairs, oh crap, which button was it for that one? Because it was like 12 buttons.
Yeah.
And each button, one was a master and one was kind of like the volume level.
Gotcha.
So you had the maximum level it could go to, and then the other button would be like half increments, so to speak. So like
Yeah.
between 8 and 16 bit. It's kind of like it doubles it, so you have finer control.
Makes sense.
So doing that is a nightmare, especially when you've got half an hour between a class ending and a class beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And also in that half an hour, you're meant to be having your break.
Yes.
So I often had to give up my breaks to do that. So
So-
it was just like, so when the musical director comes in and goes, this speaker doesn't sound right, I'm like, which one is it? That one. Turn the music on. Right. Brilliant. So I didn't mind them being picky. At the same time, it was stressful
Yeah,
they've
because-
just walked in, the class is going around, they're keen to get started. So it was not
and
ideal.
instead that you're now having to sit and fiddle with levels on speakers.
Yeah, and I'm like,
And then all the class is getting antsy
and I'm getting antsy because I haven't had my break.
Yeah.
So it's just the way the timetables work there is terrible.
Everything about that
yeah.
college was badly set out.
So yeah, so
It's
the whole
like
writing side of things.
75-minute lessons.
Oh, it's worse now
What?
since the pandemics.
Oh, what are they now?
3 hours.
What?
Yeah, you have a 9 till 12, 1:30 till 4:30.
They do know that they have like neurodivergent people that go to
Yes,
that college and things.
but
don't they?
that's literally how each day is split now. So within that 3 hour block, I mean, to be fair, I like this aspect of it. You have 3 hours, but it's up to you how you structure those 3 hours, or up to the tutor.
Yeah, obviously.
So you can have 45 minutes, 10-minute break, 45 minutes, 10-minute break.
Okay.
It's up to the tutor how they structure it.
To be fair,
But I actually quite like that because you have them for 3 hours. If things aren't going well, you can just send them away to diffuse and like unwind for like 10 minutes and then bring them all back in and crack on for like a good hour and a half.
the tutor I had for the second half of my year at college was pretty cool because, yes, we technically had 75-minute lessons. But if you finished in the first hour, he'd let you go 15 minutes early, and then you got a half-hour break rather than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, because to me, the 3 hour chunks work well for rehearsals
Yes.
because you could have the first 10 minutes, 20 minutes warming up.
Yeah.
So you then have, 2.5 hours. Now, you probably could, if the group is keen and wanting to, you can do the whole 2.5 hours. Like, just straight through. There's no interruption, meaning it's a much better rehearsal time. Whereas when you are limited to like 45 minutes to an hour, after you've done the warm ups, that is,
And then
it's
you've
very.
got a 15-minute break.
Yeah, by the
and
time
then-
you've got
Yeah,
into the swing, you're finishing.
For certain subjects, I
Yeah.
imagine it works a lot better.
Mm.
For most of them, though?
Yeah. In the live arts one, in the live arts setting, that works.
Yeah, in live arts, you need those big, long chunks,
Yeah.
realistically.
However, the downside to that was if I had to do any maintenance, I was limited to an hour
Yeah.
a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I only did 2.5 days a week.
Yeah.
And I often had a technician that I job shared with whose skills were more the stage manager side of things. They weren't
actually a technician.
they were,
but that
but-
wasn't where their skill set was.
Yeah, because this is what bugs me so much. The role technician is so vague in the terms of the college, the way they define it.
Oh, okay. I assumed it
No.
would be like the same sort of definition as theatre tech.
No. Technician just means you are there on hand to support. That's how the college defines you as a technician.
That
Yeah, you've just been given a technician role because you slightly know some technical things. Or you know technical terms of the business.
this is beyond
So-
dumb.
Yes, so the stage manager, for example, they have their own set of skills. Within that set of skills is technobabble, so to speak, like DSM, ASM,
I mean,
SM.
yeah, but usually
then
it's
that's
referring to, hey, this person, go do this.
Yeah,
Hey, theatre tech that is actually a technician, go do this.
yes. Whereas my understanding of technician is you know the technical side as in
Yeah, you
the
have specialised in
computerised,
a
yes.
piece of technology or a subset of technologies.
Yeah, you're specialist.
Yeah.
But no, they mean it to cover everything. So I often had a technician who would be on the stage manager's side, or they were more costume orientated, or they were more like painting and decorating. They were more.
Painting and decorating, I can understand being as a technician.
Yes.
Same with costume.
Oh yeah, they all have their own technical things.
Yeah.
However, I meant to apparently if I was working full time,
Uh-huh.
I meant to do all that as well.
But that's not what you're trained to do.
No, exactly. That's why the whole technician term at the college is completely false.
That's not a technician. That's just a hand.
Basically support staff. It's a tutor wanted, I don't know, for a lesson they wanted to do the ultraviolet lights.
Yeah.
I knew how to do that on the lighting desk.
Yeah.
The last technician I worked with, they didn't. They knew how to turn the lights on, so to speak, but they didn't know exactly like the movements per se.
Yeah.
So they were like, hang on, which light is the UV lights and how do I turn the UV lights on? But because I've worked with that desk for about 6 years,
You were just like,
for me, I've set it up to how I do it.
Yeah.
Because up until my last technician, I had no technician lasting more than a year.
Yeah.
So I think
So rather than catering to everybody else who wasn't sticking around,
Yeah.
you went, right, this is how I work.
yeah,
I
I
have
made it
been-
my own way. I made it how I understand it simply.
Yeah.
So then when the student had technical,
Lessons.
well, not lessons, but they had an interest,
Yeah.
I could kind of show them my method.
Makes sense.
And it kind of worked, it kind of didn't, because some
Most of the
students
time,
didn't necessarily...
your methods tend to be very logical, straightforward.
very linear.
Yeah. So I think that's a good way to teach things to people.
Yeah.
You do things ass backwards occasionally.
Oh, yeah. Because why not?
I can't remember what the most recent example is. Actually, yes, I do.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
I've sent you a video so you can learn to do gradients.
Oh, yes. Yes. there's-
Proceeds to spend 40 minutes failing to figure out how to make a gradient.
Yeah, because for me, I know the tutorials are out there. But at the same time, I like the challenge of figuring it out.
I do
myself.
to a certain extent, but when it's for a project that has deadlines and that we're trying to move forward
Yeah,
with,
that's true.
sitting there and faffing about is like the opposite of productive.
I know, but the way I work sometimes, the more somebody tells me, there's this, do this, I'm like, no, and I double down.
Oh, I am exactly the same. I get it.
And it's like, yeah. But then when I did do the gradient on the actual logo for the Sweet Isle now, I did that by sheer fluke, and I honestly don't know how I did that.
That's brilliant.
I genuinely don't know how I did that. I went, oh, gradient button.
Is there a gradient in the current one?
I found a fill. Yeah, it's like blue and green behind the...
Oh, yeah, in the background.
Yeah.
So I remembered, like, the jar.
Yeah.
And that was it.
But I just literally went... I found the fill section, and I found a little sub-tab, and it had, like... I don't know what exactly, but it had loads of, like, little images. And I went, click, click. Ooh! And I was like...
It's done the thing I wanted it to.
It's like, how did I do that in, like, 2 minutes where I was 40 minutes previously? But I honestly, I haven't looked back at it, so I can't tell you. But I'm imagining if I wanted to change the colours of it,
Yes.
I would have problems there. And I think that's more what it is. It was custom versus the default.
Presets.
So I just picked one of the defaults.
Yeah.
And
It worked.
for better or worse, it was like, damn.
It looks good.
Yeah. There you go. 3 hours on a bit of software you've never really properly used. And it's a pain in the backside. But God, it's enjoyable.
You know my opinions on Gimp.
Yeah. I mean, I understand it. I get the way it works now.
To be fair, I was spoilt by access to like actually good image editing software beforehand, and then I went from like £300+ editing software to Gimp.
Yeah, whereas I've never used.
Yeah, if you ever do, you will understand.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this software works and is intuitive, and it does the things I want it to do, without me having to like sacrifice a goat at the right time of day.
I can somewhat understand that.
Yeah.
Because learning how to distort to do the curved label, oh my. As soon as I worked out it was under distort, not effects, I then kind of was like, that's cool, but why is it not an effect? That is an effect.
Because it is a distortion.
But yeah,
no, I completely agree with you.
It's like they kind of work
A
one and the
distortion
same.
is an effect.
Yeah.
And
So why are they two separate things?
because the people that designed that software are stupid.
But,
Well, I mean,
it's
they're not.
No, it's not. I think it's
just
the open sourceness of it all.
Yeah.
It's like my 3D printer I have, the Prusa.
Mm-hmm.
That's all open source. I love open source stuff.
I do in theory.
There is a big caveat.
Yes.
Unless there's a big company behind it, like Prusa, for example,
Yeah.
they have all their stuff on GitHub. So people put up their like Python code that they've written, and they kind of go, this kind of fixes this.
Yes.
This kind of fixes this. And then they take that in their own in-house team,
And they
look at it, they tweak it, they edit it, and then they put it in an alpha, a beta, and then release.
Yes.
And then it's up to you if you choose the alpha and the betas. So that method of open source I really like.
Yes.
However, I don't know if Gimp has that behind it, or
Don't
if it's just
know.
random people uploading and hope it sticks.
I think it might be more the latter, because some of the changes I've seen made on Gimp
Don't
like,
make sense.
not just don't make sense, like they just make the thing worse.
Yeah.
Like they fix nothing and they make it worse.
Well, that's it, folks. The Maniacs have been put back in their cell for another fortnight when we release the next episode. Episodes will also be put on YouTube a week after the release on Spotify, just in case you want a repeat of this madness, for whatever reason. We also have other projects in the works too, so keep an eye out for those, and I'll let you know. Also, thank you to Wintergatan for giving us rights to use their song. You can find the links to those as well as our email in the description. And, hey, thank you to you for indulging these lunatics. We really do appreciate it.